Whether a disability occurs at birth or later in childhood, it will mean change. These can be challenging to the family, but they also can have positive outcomes.
Lorenzo, effectively, he died just before he was born. He was starved of oxygen. The diagnosis we had at 13 months was cerebral palsy with hemiplegia on his right-hand side. It was, an incredible shock, and then we got him home after 5 weeks. At that point, we could start feeling like a family, and we could start focusing on what we could do for him.
Rory has Down syndrome, which is, so he has an extra chromosome. Kind of just getting used to the idea of having a child who's going to have extra support needs and what that might mean for his future. And I think that was quite scary, really, at first.
I think I struggled a lot more. When Rory was born, we hadn't known that he had Downs when I was carrying him, and it was hard for me to accept. And I think you go through different emotions that don't almost sit together simultaneously. So you may love your baby intensely, but you can also feel lots of things. But it's a long process, and I'd say people need to give themselves a lot of time.
Talking to other parents that have been through similar experiences has been really helpful. And I also did an early support course at my local children's centre. So it was a course for parents with children with additional needs and disabilities, and I found that very helpful.
I've found it difficult to get out there and go to groups and things, because I felt, for example, that the concerns of other parents were different to mine. But I think that the more that you get out there, the more you're going to find sort of kindred spirits. It's just very important that you're mixing with other people.
I get more out of it engaging with the professionals who can give us programs to help Lorenzo. So we have a physio for him who gives us lots of good ideas of how to direct his play to work the kind of muscles that he needs to develop to work. I actually feel quite lucky in ways, because I know myself that this has actually given me a more of a clarity of purpose. I think I've got a lot more out of being Lorenzo's father than I would have done otherwise.
Yeah, I think it's quite important that I maintain a positive attitude towards disability, and I put that out there. And I think that's helped me a lot.
And I think some of your positivity came out of, maybe an acceptance that Rory would be different, and that really isn't such a bad thing. I think my attitude to disability is, that Rory can find his own path, and that Rory doesn't have to conform completely to other people's expectations.
We're always looking to the future about what the next goal is, and we appreciate all the things that he can do so much more than we would have done if he didn't have an additional need or disability.